In preparation for the Big Good Guys event in Nashville, Tennessee, Jeremy's main priority was window tint.
Well, today we're gonna try and put some limo tint on my old S10. I haven't done this since high school, but we're gonna give it a try and see how it goes.
First, Jeremy used some Jack's Wax window cleaner to clean the glass. Then he took measurements, laid out his pattern, and applied the film to the back window.
Well, it didn't go as planned. It turned out okay, but I'm gonna have to redo it again tomorrow.
The next day, as Jeremy was getting ready to redo the back glass on his truck, Vicky was dealing with squirrels.
What are you doing? Get off my bird feeder.
While Vicky's defending her bird feeder, Jeremy's down at his shop busy with tinting.
Round 2 of I'm gonna tint my own glass whether it kills me or not.
Once Jeremy's top priority had been taken care of, it was time for his second most important priority of the day.
Got issues, and it's letting me know it's time for maintenance.
Jeremy's wheels and tires that are on the truck came off my Malibu, and the tires are getting pretty old.
Help, I'm about to have flat shoes.
You don't want to have flat shoes, not where you're going.
Oh, good grief.
Unfortunately, Jegs wasn't able to mount the tires for Jeremy while he was there, so Jeremy had to look for someone else to do it in the last second.
Thank you, Miss Kimmy. Well, we got everything together. I'm gonna get headed that way.
We're good to go.
Chumpy's got me somebody to put tires on, so
Excellent.
we're good.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys.
You bet.
Evidently, this was the only place available to mount tires today.
Thank you for getting me taken care of. I'll go kick Chumpy in the nuts now.
After Mark's buddy got Jeremy all taken care of, Jeremy came to our house to show off his new tires. Then he went straight over to Dave Dean's house to pick him up. Dave's an old friend of Jeremy's who's always been big into the mini truck scene and street rods. They plan on taking the fire truck from Ohio all the way down to Nashville, Tennessee, 6 hours and 404 miles one way.
Well, we're still trucking. We're about an hour away from Nashville, and they got a power steering leak. Other than that, we're doing good.
Jeremy seems fearless to the problems associated with taking this truck, but Dave clearly has reservations, and for good reason. Nevertheless, Jeremy's little red fire truck managed to make the trip from Ohio to Nashville, Tennessee without a single problem. So after Jeremy and Dave checked into the hotel, they walked around downtown Nashville a little bit and took in some of the sights and sounds.
Hotel breakfast sucked, so here we are. Yeah, well, Cracker Barrel took too long, so here we are at IHOP. You can see it's perfect car show weather.
After breakfast, they drove the S10 over to the Nashville Motor Speedway and registered the S10 as part of the show.
Are you planning on coming back tomorrow?
There's a possibility.
Yeah.
We weren't sure what we're going to do with the rain today, but we're going to show up anyway.
We've been at a lot of car shows, sitting in a lot of rain. You know, we've done it before, we'll do it again. Would like to have seen the whole group down here. That would have been pretty awesome. But still, it's pretty cool to meet Mr. Bucko here.
They're
Uncle
back
Bucko.
home bolting together all the crap that they broke in half. They're at the machine shop, so I got a minute. That's why I'm
Oh, yeah.
In reality, Vicky and I were busy driving up to Milan, Michigan for the Detroit Hood TV Pour Your Own Puddle race at Milan Dragway. This race is actually run in the shutdown, and they run the track backwards. This is the first official Pour Your Own Puddle race that Detroit Hood TV puts on up there at Milan Dragway for the season. The weather in Milan is certainly better than it is down in Nashville, Tennessee, but that hasn't dampened the spirits of everybody that's there for the show. Although a good number of the cars on display are sitting out in the rain on blacktop, there's still a bunch of cars that are using the NASCAR garage here at the Motor Speedway to display their cars indoors. So Jeremy and Dave went inside for a little while to dry off and wait for the weather to clear up outside, which eventually it did by late morning. There's a really wide variety of vehicles on display here at the Good Guys event, everything from rat rods to full-blown street rods and show cars. But the big thing that Jeremy was most happy about was that most of the Fords there were not Fox body Mustangs.
not shit boxes.
Case in point was this 33 or 34 Ford 5-window coupe, powered by a Hemi set back way back in the chassis with a radiator underneath the back of the car. Anyway, once the weather started to clear up, Jeremy went out to greet some fans.
Fans, Nashville, good guys. Found some more fans.
Uncle Bucko! Uncle Bucko!
Good deal.
Love the Street Race channel. Man, love the Old Man's Garage and all of them. Y'all keep it up. We down here in Tennessee love y'all, man.
Represent.
I think the thing that Jeremy was most excited about was the opportunity to take his truck out on the super speedway.
Bucko's in the house. Nashville Super Speedway.
Now here's the deal, if you registered your car as part of the show, you were invited to take a lap around the Nashville Motor Speedway. But of course, there are a handful of very important rules.
What do you want me to do with this?
Down under CS over there.
CS, what's that stand for?
Chicken shit, that's what it is.
Chicken shit right here.
Yeah, chicken shit. Yeah, it's stuffed a little full. There's a lot of chicken shit.
Now, according to the rules and regulations of this cruise, you're only allowed to go a certain speed and you're not allowed to pass. It turns out passing and speeding wouldn't be a problem for Jeremy.
These new drop spindles are handling wonderful.
Jeremy's S10 has been slightly lowered and his handling is on point. However, he was struggling to keep up with the pack of street rods that are powered by V8 engines. Jeremy was growing upset that he was getting passed by even Chitty Chitty Bang Bang here in the right-hand lane. And then not long after that, what appears to be a 55 Ford pickup. Jeremy pushes the S10 harder and harder, doing his best to keep up with the pack. With all the excitement surrounding being out there on the track in his truck, with his brand new BF Goodrich tires and his new tinted windows, Jeremy overlooked a major detail. The oil level in his crankcase was extremely low, not a good combination on high bank turns.
Houston, I have a problem.
The combination of low oil level and the high bank turns have resulted in a spun rod bearing. I immediately found someone that would haul Jeremy back to Ohio on a trailer, but Jeremy had other plans.
Yeah, well, we're gonna try to get rid of that knocking noise. Dumping in the syrup and the glue.
4 quarts of Rotella 1540 and 1 quart of Lucas oil stabilizer.
Hopefully we can make it home. I don't think we're gonna be running the AC too much. So we got a whole thing of Lucas, some diesel engine oil. We're gonna see what happens.
All right, it's gonna purr like a kitten. Oh my. Oh. Ha ha. It's kind of quieter. I don't know if it's like 400 miles quieter. Yeah, redline it a couple times. That should help. Just kidding.
It's semi better.
It is semi better. It's quieter.
We're gonna give it a minute and see what happens.
The only hope for Jeremy's engine at this point is that he overfills the crankcase so high that the oil level splash lubricates what's left of the rod bearing.
We might try to drive it as far as we can. I don't know.
Look, there it is.
Yeah. I found gold. Well, we're on the road again. She's knocking, but she's holding together. We're gonna test the durability of an S10 that's been ran on the speedway and the bottom end started for oil. I'll bet you I make it home. Everybody start placing their bets. Well, we're fine. There's no check engine light or nothing. We're on the road. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Once the oil temperature came up in the S10's engine, things got louder and louder. So Jeremy decided to do another oil change along the road, this time using straight 140 gear oil.
This should work. Perfect.
If I were playing Jeopardy, I'd take things that aren't going to work for 1,000, Alex.
Another 300 miles. We'll see what happens. Oh, it's getting ugly.
Yeah, it's not sounding better.
Approximately 10 miles later, one of the connecting rods left the check. So Jeremy and Dave called in reinforcements from the mini truck crew.
Broke down in Kentucky, getting help from the mini truckers.
Through a chance encounter while trying to buy gear oil for his crankcase, Jeremy ran into someone who was willing to help him haul his S10 as far north as the Ohio River, just south of Cincinnati. Then he'll have to find another ride the rest of the way home.
And I appreciate it. More than you know.
That other ride would be yours truly, in the Suburban and the open car trailer. The Ohio River is about a 2.5-hour drive south of our house, down 71 into Cincinnati. Now keep in mind that Vicki and I didn't get home from Milan, Michigan until 5:30 this morning. So I'm running on about 4 hours of sleep total since Jeremy woke me up with a phone call and text messages asking me to come get him. So I told him just to meet me in Florence, Kentucky, behind the Hooters restaurant 15 minutes south of the Bengal Stadium, and find a hill to park the truck on so we can roll the truck up onto the trailer when I get there. It was at this point I realized that Jeremy had dumped gear oil in the engine because I could smell it. It was spread all over this poor guy's trailer. And if there's anything left at all in the crankcase, it's soon to be spread all over mine.
See why I don't go on vacation?
Once Jeremy tied the truck down, it was time to say goodbye and head home. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate you very much.
Anytime.
So me, Dave, and Jeremy all jumped back in Vicky's Suburban and headed north on I-71, back across the Ohio River into Cincinnati just before sunset. Believe it or not, Jeremy and Dave were in good spirits. They had actually enjoyed this entire escapade, going clear down there in this junky little S10, blowing the engine up on the track, and basically hitchhiking their way back to the Ohio River while making everyone behind them sick to their stomach from the stench of the gear oil that was leaking out all over the trailer. You ready? Here we go. Bombs away! Oh my God. Sure enough, the stench of gear oil was fresh in the air Monday morning, and it was literally the first thing Kenny tackled as soon as he got to work today. And as it turns out, Vicki had plenty of work in store for him. What are you guys doing?
Vicki wants a 55 out for the shindig tonight.
Shindig?
Watch party.
Oh, the watch party. That thing on television about us going to trails doing the locals only race. That's tonight.
Yep, so we gotta make some room.
Well, while that thing's out, let's give it a bath, get it cleaned up. It's time to get started on it again. I think I'm gonna go pick up a set of heads for it tomorrow. That means we're gonna get back on this project.
Are we taking this thing to good guys?
We could, if we get it back together.
Well, that's no problem.
It isn't?
Well, the good eyes ain't until July.
What? At the rate that you work.
Oh my God.
Since we've got to get the shop all cleared out and cleaned up, now's as good a time as any to roll a 55 outside, give it a bath, and get ready to get back on it this week. Once we had the car outside, Jeremy aired up the flat tires, and then he headed up to the farm to help my dad get started working ground this afternoon. Dad's been waiting almost a week and a half to get back in the field after all the rain we've had. And Jeremy needs to be up there just in case the tractor gives Dad any problems or if something breaks down. Speaking of things that are broke down, I decided to go down and see Mark and order some parts in for Jeremy's fire truck to ensure that it doesn't end up with the same fate as his previous daily drivers. Typically, once they reach that stage, there's no coming back. Well, did you hear the news?
Well, bits and pieces.
Buckwheat's had a little run of bad luck.
No.
He took the fire truck down to Nashville for the Good Guys event, and they let him take it out on the super speedway. Well, the old high bank did him in. The oil ran away from the oil pump pickup, and he wasn't paying attention. He had his foot buried in that thing and blew it up.
Nice.
So he's going to go pick up another engine at the junkyard. I told him I want to put small block in it. He won't do it.
Really?
He wants his stock V6 daily driven crap. So I told him
Fuel mileage.
I'd daily drive my Malibu.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, he's just a pansy.
They are just a bunch of pansies.
So we're going to need cap, rotor, spark plugs, cam, crank sensors, water pump. He's going to a junkyard and I want all that shit new.
Yeah.
That way he doesn't have any excuses why he's late to work. While I'm down at Mark's ordering Jeremy's parts in, he's up at the farm preparing the S10 for a lengthy stay in Dad's garden. Meanwhile, I came home from Mark's and helped Vicki get everything set up for the big party tonight out in the shop. Thankfully, Kenny had most of the work done before he left today, and everything was pretty much ready to go by the time I got home. My mom and Dad came down after Dad got done working in the field, and Vicki's mom came over as well. Even Uncle Terry showed up. And not long after that, Uncle Bob came down from Mount Vernon. Vicki had brought home pizza for everybody and even had cake and cookies for treats. Everybody was having a great time and really enjoyed the show, with the only complaint being commercial placements. It seems like every time everybody was on the edge of their seat, they dropped another commercial, which really aggravated Vicki. Outside of that, I think she enjoyed the show. All right, welcome back, everybody. So everybody's gone home for tonight, and I'm just out here in the shop finishing up this video. God, where do I start? Uncle Buckwheat has found another engine at the junkyard. He's going to go pay for it tomorrow, and they're going to pull it out for him. And Mark's going to have all his parts down at the parts store probably tomorrow morning. And Buckwheat's going to go ahead and put a new engine in that truck up at the farm, I think, is his plan, since that's where we dropped it off at. Luckily, he just cleaned up the shop, so he should be in pretty good shape to pull that engine and replace it up there. The watch party tonight was really good. It was great having everybody here. Uncle Terry was here, and as you saw, even Uncle Bob came down to see it, and I really appreciate that. That means a lot to us. Let's see. God, there's been so much going on today, I can't hardly keep my thoughts straight. Oh yeah, I forgot. So we're gonna get back on the 55 Chevy. I'm headed up to Trick Flow tomorrow in Tallmadge, Ohio. And I'm gonna run up there and pick up a set of double hump heads. They actually make aluminum double hump heads. They look exactly like the factory double humps that used to be on the 55 Chevy years ago. But they're 64, 65, 63 cc chamber, combustion chamber anyway. And they should work really good with the dish pistons that's in this 400. Probably have to run on 93 octane pump gas, but doesn't matter, it's fine. We've got this little Isky hydraulic roller camshaft sitting here, and we'll dig into that as we start putting the engine together. I think I've got everything here that I need, or at least most of it. I'm probably gonna need an intake because I robbed the intake for this project to put on Vicky's 64 C10. So I may have to go find an intake manifold someplace, I'm not sure. But I do have a brand new ATM 750 carburetor sitting here for it. So that part of it's ready to go. It should run really good. It should be a really nice, street-friendly, pump gas-friendly, plenty of torque, plenty of power to pull the old 55 around, sound decent, and have plenty of power to run around in and cruise. So pretty excited about that. I hope everybody enjoyed the Street Outlaws Locals Only TV show that aired tonight that we watched here in the shop. It was a really good opportunity, not only for us, but the other drivers that were there as well. I thought all of them did a good job as far as their presence on camera. I think everybody that was on that show represented the state well. Everybody was respectful. Everybody was good sports. And I just don't know that it could have gone much better, honestly. Really proud of everybody that got to be on the show. So I think that's about it for tonight. Thank you to the show and the producers and Mike Hellman. I know you're maybe watching from up above, but Mike Hellman was the producer that invited us to come and be part of that. And Mike passed away unexpectedly shortly after the episode we were on was filmed. And Mike had a medical condition. He passed away in his sleep at home. And so our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that was friends with Mike, especially Sean Ellington. I've never spoken about this to anybody, not even my family or my kids or anything. The day that I took the truck and trailer down there to get set up, Mike Hellman met me there at the track. We were the second person of the Locals Only racers to get our pit set up. Mike sat down in the golf cart and we took a little ride around the pits and had a private conversation. And he explained to me that someone had spoke up for us that he listens to. He was a good friend. And that person was Sean Ellington, Murder Nova, off the television show. Anyway, Mike expressed to me their friendship was a pretty solid one. He explained to me that he felt like Sean was like his brother. And if Sean told him that somebody was a solid person, they were solid, no question. So thank you, Sean, for putting a good word in for us, I guess. It means a lot. Sean's gone out of his way to help us in the past. Billy's headers on his Nova are the original OG headers off the Murder Nova. And he's been really good to our family. And he's spoken to me in confidence a couple times, private conversations about family and raising kids. And he's been a very good friend to our family. I just want to say thank you to Sean for that. Thank you to all the producers. Thank you to everybody that was so nice to us. All the folks that were filming were very courteous and very nice to my kids, my entire family. It was a wonderful experience. If you guys are out there and you're watching this and you ever get the opportunity to go to a locals only event with Farm Truck and Asian, I strongly suggest you take the opportunity if you can. Good night, everybody.